The new lecture series of the Indian polity. So first about the Indian polity, and it's first one of the lectures, the making of the constitutions. So constitution is one of the key documents of any country, so which runs on the principles of the democracy. So we will polity, and it is one of the very crucial to understand the further proceedings of the our polity or our overall our constitution. So let's see and let's go to the first lesson, the making of the constitution. What is meant by first of all constitution? Constitution is kind of the documents. Documents or the proposal to run any country, means every just not for any country, but every organization, any kind of the organizations would have or is having the documents or proposal documents or objective documents is called the constitution. So on the which principles any organization can be run, on the which principles any country can be run. So all these principles and rules and regulations are consisted into the documents, and such a documents is called the constitution. See, it is overall definitions of the constitution. So many political philosophers has given so many different definitions. So but we are dwelling here about the making of the constitution. So as far as our country is concerned, one of the greatest and one of the largest and grandeur kind of the constitutions we have accepted from the 1949, and it was a very, we as an Indian, we must be proud about of our constitutions. In the last 80 years we run our country on the basis of our constitutions. Means constitution is a supreme, just not a document, it is a just supreme things in our country. So and we must be proud of it. So let's see what is mean by constitutions and how the constitutions, idea of the constitution was evolved over the years. So let's see the first constitutions. It is evolution and not the just revolution of the constitution. Who was the one of the first one who thought about the constitution? So in 1934, one of the first ones, M.N. Roy, one of the greatest socialist, communist, who thought to have the first constituent assembly for India. To write the constitution, to draft the constitution for any country, some people need to get together to write, so as well as starting the constitutions. So first one, the M.N. Roy, one of the greatest. Second idea comes in 1935, when the INC, means Indian National Congress. So Indian National Congress has made proposal, so demanded, Indian National Congress officially demanded the drafting or constituent assembly for India. So official demand from the INC or Indian National Congress. So third person or third, so Jawaharlal Nehru in 1938, on the behalf of the Congress, he demanded again the constituent assembly for India. On behalf of the Congress, he demanded the constituent assembly of India. So how the evolution of a constitution is seen, can be seen in this. M.N. Roy was one of the first who demanded constituent assembly. Then INC, the first organization in India which had demanded the constituent assembly to write the draft the constitution for our country. The third one, as a person, Jawaharlal Nehru, one of the topmost, and later he became the prime minister of our country. So he demanded the constituent assemblies. So on the Congress to thought about or to think about these demands, the British government, especially British government, came into force in 1940. So they considered the demand. So in 1940, British government considered or accepted our demand. Means we started to demand in 1930 as one of the person or great leaders of our country started to demand in 1934. After 6 years, the British government considered and accepted the demand, and after the acceptance, to check the feasibility to have the constituent assembly for India, so British government has sent one of the commissions in India. This commission was known as the Sir. In 1942, the Cripps mission was sent to India to have to check the feasibility and to check the preparedness of our Constituent Assembly up to India in 1942 to check feasibility and preparedness of the Constituent Assembly after the acceptance in 1940. So after 2 years of the government acceptance, the British government has sent Cripps mission to India. So overall, if we see here, so these are some of the dates are very vital in India's constitutional history. So from the 1936 to 1942, after these years, and officially the election was announced to have the Constituent Assembly. So let's see composition of Constituent Assembly. The composition was started. So India actually, as we know that as India was divided into two governing bodies that time. As per as we need to understand, first of all, some of the princely states of our country was also part of our nation that time. So princely states and the composition, as we are British provinces and another is the princely states. So how many members would come from the princely states? And 296 and 93 were from the, so 93 were from the princely states. So these were the numbers to be elected from the to be elected and some are the nominated. So elected from the 389. These are the total number of the Constituent Assembly. These are the numbers are fixed by the British government to be elected from the different provinces and different regions and nominated from the different kings or Maharajas from India. 296, out of the 296, these numbers, 4 from the commissioner regions or commissioner provinces, and 292 from the British provinces. So these were the elaboration. This is the elaboration of the 296, and 93 were nominated from the kings. So this is all about the 389 numbers. So 296, out of the 296, 292 from the British provinces and 4 from the commissioner provinces, and 93 were nominated from the kings of the India. So this is all about the composition of the Constituent Assembly, like adult franchise system that time. So very few people, especially 10% population of country had the right to vote that time on the basis, and this right was given on the basis of the income. So 10% people would be part of this selection system or election system of the Constituent Assembly. So on the 10%, the numbers were divided on the basis of the religion. The Sikhs, Hindus, Muslims and Christians and some of the other depressed classes, the membership are given on the basis, means Constituent Assembly was the partly elected, revised to 389 members. Out of these, 296 from the British provinces, 93 from the princely states. Out of 296, again these numbers are divided like 292 from the British provinces and 4 from the commissioner regions. So announce. So how the result was there? So major of the seats, most of the seats was owned by the Congress that time. So how the result? Constituent Assembly result. So let's see. Constituent Assembly result. So out of 296, 292 members, so most of the part, means 208 members were from the Congress. So that time the Congress was one of the largest party that time. Congress was owned by 208 seat was owned by the Congress. Then 93 were, as we have discussed, 93 were to be nominated by the kings. So from the Muslim League, 73 were won by the Muslim League. So overall, this kind of the representation after the result was seen in the Constituent Assembly. So then 93 members were to be elected from the princely states, and 15 seats owned by the independent or non-partisans. Means large bulk of the seats was owned by the Congress, and most of the members, actually it was decided here, the most of the members would be from the Congress. The first meeting after the election was announced in August. On 9 December, meeting was organized on the 9 December 1946. Traditions: the first meeting, first chairman, temporary president of the Constituent Assembly. For this meeting, only 211 members were present. With the presence, so new chairman was announced, chairman of the Constituent Assembly, then vice chairman of the Constituent Assembly, and advisor of the Constituent Assembly. So lot of questions. Become the vice chairman, and B.N. Rao became the advisor of the Constituent Assembly. So all about the starting and working of the Constituent Assembly was started on these 2 days. 9 December was just for the introduction of the Constituent Assembly. On that day, to remember, actually as per as our exam is concerned, we just to remember here the day of the Constituent Assembly and the chosen temporary president and how many members were present. Actually we need to keep in mind to our examination. And on the 11th December, chairman was declared or announced. First officially chairman, Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the chairman of the Constituent Assembly. Then vice chairman S.C. Mukherjee and advisor became the B.N. Rao. So overall, all about the working of the Constituent Assembly. Thank you.